The JR Carbine, or Just Right Carbine. Nice little 9mm, very handy, very compact. Did a review on this rifle about 1.5 years ago. You know, the Just Right Carbine has a couple of things that are really big that are going for it. And the first is it uses standard Glock magazines. And of course, with Glock magazines, you can go all the way from the 10 rounder all the way to the 33 rounder. So that really makes it very versatile, especially if you're carrying a Glock pistol as your sidearm. So whether you're carrying the 17 or all the way down to the 26, it makes it really handy. But the other cool thing about the JR Carbine is it takes a lot of standard AR-15 parts and accessories. And one of the things about a pistol caliber carbine is it gives you kind of an intermediate type firearm. It has better ballistics than a pistol. It's better on accuracy and out to distance than a pistol. Yet, as far as with a rifle, it doesn't get the range out there, but the ammunition is about half the price. 9mm runs about 20 cents per round, give or take, and then your 5.56 or 223 is about 40 cents per round. So you're shooting for about half the price per round, which makes it really nice, especially when you're shooting a semi-automatic rifle or carbine. The JR Carbine's been around since 2009, and they have really changed a lot since then. They have grown, and this is their takedown model, which is really a cool little system. And then with the different calibers that they offer, 9mm, 40, 45, 357 SIG, using regular Glock magazines.
Oh, I'm empty.
Just when he was getting into it.
Oh, man, that shoots really nice.
That looked professional.
Huh?
Damn. You can't change those over to the bolt to right or left.
Oh, okay. See, that'd be perfect.
And this breaks down, right?
It does.
Man,
it's really easy. You can bring it back and just hook it right here. This is the takedown model. They're two different models. There's a case I'm going to show you in a minute. It is cool how it fits. There's a groove in there that'll make it fit just in the right spot. You're done. I mean, that's a pretty cool way to do it.
Yeah. I like the weight of it, you know, it doesn't have a whole lot of bounce when I move, you know, just like an AR, you know, you're floating around.
Right.
I think because the front cell, it's weighed perfectly with that big old foregrip, or just the, you know, on the front. That felt good.
Yep.
You shot him in his
I got him in
rotator
his
cuff.
side, right?
That's pretty sweet though.
It was perfect. This thing is really easy. The cool part is after I shoot it, it just sets me off a little to the left. I just got to pull it right back to the right. Every time it's just a little off to the left.
Yeah, one of the things I'm wanting to do is put a muzzle brake on it.
Yeah.
Because it's threaded. And there's some other things we're going to do to it. It's very adaptable.
It's very predictable shooting though. I mean, if I was a little better shot, I'd be right in the middle.
First thing, we're going to remove the magazine. Make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. The JR Carbine is a blowback design, and right here is your charging handle. Just charge the weapon this way. If you want to open the bolt, has a little place to lower it down. Very HK style. Hit it and bring the bolt home. It does not have, because it's a blowback design, it does not have the last round bolt hold open. One of the really cool things as well is that the charging handle can be switched to the other side. There are no extra parts needed to make this a left-handed shooting firearm. Now it ejects out this side, but you can take and switch the ejection port plate right here and be able to eject out the other side. You can take your charging handle and change it to the other side, even having it eject from this side. So it can almost be like an AK style if you like that. Mag well is right here in front of the trigger guard. Goes into place. Right here is your mag release. It is an AR-15 style mag release, but it does sit right here where you can grab the mag, and depress and pull out. It does come with a non-factory Glock magazine, and honestly when I first got it I was kind of like, I don't know if that's going to work or not, but it worked flawlessly. Of course, it has a nice Picatinny rail option on top, which makes it great to put on optics. With the takedown version though, you're not going to have any place for a front sight or backup sights. You can mount them here if you want to. They're just going to have a real short sight radius, but that is an option. Here I have just one of the Spark 2s on here, and this has really proven to be a great little optic. I've got this from 3 Rivers Precision, great little source. In fact, he honors the Suits discount if you're looking for a good optic. Now the receiver has a nice hard coat anodized finish on it. It is 6061 T6 aluminum. It is machined. It does have very solid parts to the rifle. The takedown model, it's really easy to just unloosen your handguard, remove your barrel, and you're ready. I mean, it's that simple. The handguard has a really nice knurled finish all along, so it's going to give you a good gripping surface. Just a very well machined piece. The barrel is threaded, and it has a thread protector on here. Now this is going to accept your standard 9mm bird cage. Make sure that you do put a 9mm bird cage on here because of the diameter coming out. And those are all available on the JR Carbine website as well. Here the barrel has a little key right here to go into the receiver, and it actually fits down to make sure that you're aligning your extractor in the right location. So it's really intuitive, and it won't go in any other way. So it fits right into the key. Bring over your takedown handguard or forend and just hand tighten. It doesn't have to have excessive pressure on here. Again, it is 9mm, it is a blowback design, and so the pressures are not going to be super high. Now if you're used to the AR-15, safety's right there in the correct place. The trigger is going to have that mil-spec trigger. Not a bad trigger at all. I will be replacing it just because I like to have really slick triggers, and I just want to see how it can be done. Of course, you know, the pistol grip very easily changes to the A2. It's comfortable enough, it fits well, but if you want to upgrade to a mag pull or something like that, it's real easy to do that. The buffer tube is a commercial 6-position buffer tube. Of course, you know, the castle nut, everything is actually just standard AR-15. The barrel is 17 inches. Overall, it's 33.5 inches with the stock fully extended and then closed 30.25 inches overall. The weight on this rifle is coming in at about 7 pounds. And that's pretty compatible with your standard AR-15 rifle. Because it does use a number of AR-15 parts, it's designed very much like the AR. And it feels like it. All your controls are the same as far as your safety, your stock, the way the grip feels. Your magazine release is going to be a little different, but you know, it's not hard to get used to, and because of the size of the magazine, it's totally different than your standard AR mag. Of course, with the Picatinny rail, you know, you can put any of your mounts on here. So it really makes it a great training tool, especially considering that the ammunition is about half the cost. Any kind of scare politically where AR-15 ammunition dries up, which we've had a number of times, you know, you can find the 9mm a little better than you can the 5.56 or 223. Now shooting a number of different types of ammunition in here, HPR full metal jacket, HPR jacketed hollow points, arms core 9mm, and shooting some other type reloads. It never failed at the range. I mean, we shot a ton of rounds through this thing. One of the things early on with the JR Carbines is it suggested using only standard pressure ammunition because of the blowback design. But they've since changed the way these are built, and they will handle plus P ammunition with no problem. To give you a little accuracy sample, here we go with 50 yards. First group, of course shooting a little bit low and to the right. Second group, again, I really got it kind of tightened in though, using just the Spark 2, no magnification, so that really kind of brought it together. And then here at 100 yards, of course, we're getting a little bit of a spread. Still shooting to the right, low right. I didn't adjust the scope because I'm really thinking about putting the Vortex Spitfire on here, just because it has an etched reticle. It's still no magnification, but I really like that little optic. But the Spark 2 works great, and I may keep it on there. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't adjust the windage and elevation. Again, it does use your standard Glock mags. You can use either the G18 mags, which are 33 rounds. You can use your 17 rounds. You can use your Model 19, which is the 15 rounds. Or, what's really cool, is you can use your standard 26 subcompact 10-round magazines, especially for those states that only allow for 10-round capacity. You can really get that flush with the rifle. So, I mean, there are just a lot of options. In fact, I think with my original video, I was using a 100-round drum that fit and worked flawlessly. And they are making an M&P magazine compatible model as well for 9mm and 40 only. And I think they're actually working on some other conversion kits. Just Right Carbine is also making New York and California compliant rifles. Of course, living there and producing these rifles in New York, they have a heart for the guys in New York, and obviously California, you know, they need some love too. So it's really good to see a company that's really putting forth products that cater to those markets. Now, there are only 44 moving parts on the Just Right Carbine, which makes it really simple. And that was one of the things they wanted to do, is to get it as simple as possible. And of course, that keeps it functioning better. It keeps it more streamlined. Now, being a takedown model, it would really be a shame if you didn't have something to put this in once you took it down. And so we have the Sling Pack by HPR Carbine. This is a pretty cool little accessory that goes with your carbine, your takedown version. And of course, these are available at Just Right Carbine. It can be a very gray man type bag. You do have the Just Right Carbine logo right here, and of course that can be snipped off with some scissors. So, you know, you have patches for your Velcro. These run $49.99 on the Just Right Carbine, and I think with the takedown model, it's a must-have. It does have a number of conversion kits, though, that can be used on the rifle with barrel changing, and then, of course, with the magwell change and the bolt changes with the bolt system. They typically start at about $279 and up, according to the caliber, and then they have the tools and everything to replace it. They have all the parts for the JR Carbine as well, and you can go to justrightcarbines.com and check out a lot of different things. Now, the retail price on the JR Carbine website started at $774 for your basic model. I know that I saw a number of places where it was around the $700 range, but I went to gunbroker.com and they had some buy it now Just Right carbines for around the $650 range, which is excellent. I mean, that's a great price. So, you know, check around, do your homework. You can find one of these rifles for around the $700 to $650 range, and that really makes this even a better option. Guys, the disassembly of the JR Carbine is pretty simple, and I'll show you that in an upcoming video right behind this one. It was just making this video really long. It was already 20 minutes long because of all the cool features of the carbine. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to field strip it and how to break it down totally. And then in an upcoming project, we're going to add a bunch of upgrades. We're going to add stocks. We're going to add a new grip, a new piece for the handguard, a new muzzle brake, a new trigger system. So we're just going to have a really fun project to put this thing just another step above. We'll talk a little bit about some of my personal preferences, two of my favorite things about the rifle. Of course, using the AR parts, that's huge. Using Glock Magazines, that's huge. I've stated that over and over. But what I really like is the balance of the rifle, and it really is very AR-15-esque. And you know, I shoot a lot of ARs, so this makes it really easy to transition to this rifle very seamlessly, with really the biggest difference with the magazines. But a couple of points that I would really like to see is mainly with the takedown model, there's no place to put a front sight. And you know, that takes some engineering. I know Hogue did that with their free float handguard with some different ways that they set it up. That may be an option later on, but you still can use the Picatinny rail, even though it's a short sight radius, for backup irons, if you want to go that way. Another point is the magazine release. Right here, there's no protection around the magazine release, and it inadvertently can get hit. I didn't have any problems with that. In fact, the magazines kind of fit a little bit snug, especially with the one that's provided from JR. But I think that that would be one little thing, again, even though I didn't have any issues with it. And last but not least, I would like a black charging handle. I think that would really be nice, at least something more subdued to match the color of the rifle. With the silver, it does kind of stand out, even though it's very positive, and I like it as far as the design of it. I'd really like to see a darker color. But overall, this is a great little rifle. So guys, if you're looking for a pistol caliber carbine, I think you're not going to find a better one than the little JR carbine, especially the takedown model. Really makes it compact. With the AR parts, with the Glock mags, it's just a winner. The Just Right Carbine, a 9mm takedown model, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. You can shoot. This actually is fairly huge advantage with this pistol. I mean, to make this a left-handed shooting pistol, especially if you're carrying a Glock pistol in your pocket. As far as things that as far as a couple of things that I'm not so happy about. So now it's my turn to walk like that. I have to be professional.
Yeah, I want to see you do that little stalking move.